All right, for more on this, we have with us Dr. Avner Cohen, who is a professor of non-proliferation and terrorism studies at the Middlebury Institute. Welcome to Newspoint, Doctor.
Good morning.
Now, Doctor, the hostage deal, it's definitely a breakthrough. It is something that everyone had been hoping to see and see it get facilitated at the earliest. I wanted to ask you, this is a major breakthrough. Talk to us about how this can alter the course of the war going forward, because as Benjamin Netanyahu made it clear that the war has not stopped, it's a temporary pause. How will it affect the ongoing war?
Well, it's an open question. The very idea that there is a ceasefire for at least 4 days, with the possibility that the ceasefire could be extended. In practice, the decision was that if Hamas is able to locate more people under those categories, children, women, and elderly, for each 10 more hostages or kidnapped being returned, there would be one more day of ceasefire. So obviously it changed the dynamics of the war. The reason why there was opposition, or some opposition, even though it was near consensus in Israel, but there was some mild opposition, was concern about the changing of the dynamics of the war. Ultimately, Israelis understood that there is no much chance but to take it. It's a little better than the deal that was negotiated about a week ago. It's 4 days, not 5 days. The hours are a little different. There are small changes that Israelis feel are better. But there is no doubt that it opened the door for abrupt changing of the very dynamics of the war. The concern is not so much that Hamas will be able to rearm itself. Yes, regroup itself, reorganize itself, yes. The concern is that the Hamas would be able to bring foreign media, journalists, to take a view of what happened in the northern part of Gaza. And the truth is that the northern part of Gaza has been devastated. Devastated to the extent that it's difficult to imagine. You can compare it to Dresden in 1945 at the end of World War II. So the concern is that the space of legitimization that Israel has, and part of it was even making this deal happenings and allowing some kind of humanitarian aid to enter the Gaza Strips, that could change that kind of political dynamics in a way that will make it much more difficult for Israel to resume the war politically. Not so much militarily, even though there are some complications militarily, but politically.
Dr.
So there
Cohen, I just want to come in there. You mentioned that there is a concern that Hamas may not be able to rearm itself, but they will be able to reorganize and regroup itself. That is one concern. I want you to just elaborate on that, and also the concern that you mentioned that Israel may have, that Hamas may be able to pull in more international journalists to show exactly what has happened in the northern part of Gaza at least. Now, is that a major concern due to which Israel has not been wanting a ceasefire? Is that one of the concerns? And do talk to us about Hamas reorganizing itself as well.
I think it's one of the concerns. There are many, many concerns. The overall concern is changing the very dynamics of the war. Israel has stated many times that it's committed to two things in addition to getting back the hostages. One thing is to destroy the military capabilities of Hamas. The other thing is to eradicate the civic foundations of the Hamas governance in the entire Gaza Strip. So Israel is committed to go to the southern part of Gaza and ultimately, indeed, to try its best to bring the end to the Hamas, or Hamas regime. Change the dynamics of the things, allowing a different pace. That's open the door for a lot of new possibilities that the Israelis are concerned about.
Dr. Cohen, one more.
I do not think.
Yes, I just wanted to come in here as well. Now, experts are saying that a ceasefire would send a dangerous message to Israel's additional adversaries, and there are many. There are a lot of non-state actors which have also become part of the onslaught towards Israel from different fronts. Let's take Hezbollah for example. What kind of message does it send to Hezbollah when Israel is willing to give this kind of a pause for a humanitarian truce?
Well, the pause is not for humanitarian truce. The truth is for getting back the Israeli kidnapped. I mean, there is enormous pressure
Yeah, but that's how
of the
Hamas sees it,
Israeli
as a
people.
humanitarian truce. So I'm just saying, Hezbollah being
Okay.
closely linked to
This-
Hamas, how do they see it? Yes.
Okay, the situation with Hezbollah is, fortunately for Israel, there are no Israelis being kidnapped by Hezbollah. So it's in a way, it's inapplicable, that kind of situation, to the Hezbollah situation. I don't think it gives any real message to Hezbollah. I think everybody knows that Israel, as being what it is, country with humanitarian values, with strong sense of respect to human lives, is vulnerable when it has about 235 of its people in Gaza, unknown what's happened to them. So the pressure to relieve as many of them was very, very compelling. And that's the reason why the Israeli government somewhat reluctantly had to comply with that pressure.
Dr. Avner Cohen, thank you so much for joining us on Newspoint at this hour. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Would like to have you back on Beyond World is One for insights on further matters in the war.
A pleasure to talk to you. Take care.